Ruslan.
My question is, this is really pointed at myself. What would you say to artists who have too much vision, too many dreams, these lofty visions of grandeur about their artist career, about making videos and so on, and that limiting them from releasing any content whatsoever because they're like, well, it's not perfect. It's not my vision. It's not exactly the way I want it to be. Because we look at people, even, folks on your level, you know what I mean? You guys release dope stuff, you, John Keith, Paul Russell, and it's like, oh, I can't do that yet. But we haven't put in the time to curate that experience. We don't know how to create that experience for people. And we end up not releasing any content whatsoever.
Well, listen, that never stops. I am not in a place where I'm releasing stuff at the quality that I would like to release at. I'm not in a place, my YouTube isn't exactly the way I envision it right now. And I think it's a dope YouTube. Better is done than perfect, right? Better is an idea 85% and shared with the world than 150% in my head. And there's no real way around it but to just press in, man, and just go for it. You know what I mean? So I have a ton of music. Iman's actually coming over tomorrow. I'm going to do a private live stream for the channel members and the Patreon tomorrow that you guys can watch me. And Iman be working on some mixing tomorrow. And then I'm meeting with a potential video guy on Wednesday to help me and my niece shoot a bunch of visuals. And it's not going to be perfect. We're really approaching it the way I approach YouTube, which is like, let me create a system that enables me and empowers me as a creative to release and share than to hoard and store. And I feel like Bats is going to be there in a few months. You know what I mean? Bats will probably upgrade his camera. Bats will right, and his stuff is already fire on an iPhone. But like, imagine when Bats makes a couple $1,000s extra off of his merchandise and reinvest that back into his stuff. Like, his stuff's going to jump up in quality.
I feel like I'm the same way, but I kind of got like past that. I don't think any of my videos, any of my songs are to the perfect level where I have envisioned in my mind, especially my music videos. I have like this whole, I want a full story, all this stuff's happening, right, in my music videos. But I know where I'm at right now, and I feel like quantity is way more than me just trying to get one thing going out for like a whole year, and I'm working on that. So like, yeah, especially like just doing like every 2 weeks a music video with a song with a music video, that's really helping me stay consistent, and I'm learning more. So when I get to that place where I'm at like 25,000 monthly listeners or so, then I can start migrating and putting money towards videographers, and I can tell them exactly what I envisioned, and I already did the work. So I already know what's the basics, so I can't pay for anything basic. I want something that's above that. So that's how I look at it.
It's finding that tipping point for myself. I used to have a crew that I could create with, but then I've been alone for the past, 4 years or whatever, released one project. And then I find it hard to take that leap to release anything else because it's not to my level of perfection. And I think maybe the anxiety or whatever you want to call it kind of takes over a little bit. I know the answer is just go do it. Get over yourself. But you know what I mean? It's finding that tipping point, and maybe it just needs the slap in the face and go on with your life. But yeah.
To go deeper, I think it's an existential issue, bro. I think it's a spiritual issue. You got to ask yourself, like, why do you feel like you're not worthy to share your art with the world? Why do you feel like you shouldn't show this stuff? Why are there artists that are probably less talented than you that get way more breaks than you and get way better looks than you, that don't necessarily have more opportunity than you? They're just putting in the work and just working the system, right? Why is there something inside of you that makes you feel like you're not worthy? We can go there, right? But yeah, that might require you going and seeing a therapist. That might require you going and sitting down with a Christian counselor. That might require you digging some really, really, really serious prayer. That question, I think you're gonna have to go deep on in terms of this. They say people only change when they're hurt, bored, or scared. And bored is the least likely. Usually people only change when they're hurt or when they're angry, fearful, scared, something. So what is it? So for me, like, I made lifestyle changes because I got angry. Like I started seeing patterns in my life. I started seeing the way I was. I started seeing how people would perceive me. And I got angry. And I was like, this cannot be who I am. You know what I mean? This is not who I am. This is not who God created me to be. And I mean, like, bro, like really, really angry, you know? And then I also got scared. Like, gosh, am I going to end up like my parents? Am I going to be a drug addict? Am I going to be that dude that's always dealing with addiction? Nah, man. No, I'm better than this. God got me. I could push through it. I have to. What is my other option? Right? So I would say, if you know that the progression for your career musically, you know for sure, like I know for sure musically that my music is still the main thing. I can't ever get delusional about that. As successful as I am about YouTube, as successful as I am on all these other things, music is still what generates me the most amount of money. If I know that, then I have to press into it. I have no other options, right? And I'm not saying music is gonna be the thing for me forever. I have no problem walking away from music, by the way. It would actually decomplicate my life because I could just focus on YouTube and this Patreon community and merchandise. But now I'm working on music. I'm doing that. Right? I got a lot of things on my plate. So this isn't about me, but I know what the main thing is, and like I have to press into that. And so I think you have to ask yourself some hard questions. Maybe you need to go sit down and talk with somebody and figure out like, why is that there, and what can you do? And can you do a, I don't know, write a song in an hour challenge, write a song and make a video in a day challenge, right? Can you do some things that kind of make it a bit more fun and make it less serious? Because I think that'll help you out a lot. But a lot of this stuff is honestly connected to mental health and our own identity and spiritual and that kind of stuff. And that stuff is tough, bro, because that is a process. And that's a holistic process. That's mind, body, spirit, right? It's all connected. That's not just like, well, bro, just do better. No, you aren't doing what you want because you don't feel good about yourself. Why don't you feel good about yourself? What is that why? What is that thing there? And what do you need to go repent and apologize to somebody? Do you need to forgive somebody? Right? Man, that stuff is deep, bro. That stuff goes really, really deep. And I don't know you well enough to like go that deep and ask you those questions, but I think my man Eddie just said it. You got to love yourself first. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to love yourself first. And a lot of us, if we're honest, and I don't know if this was your thing, when I was working with other people, it was really codependency. It was really, I was insecure, I was afraid, I thought I was inadequate, and I thought I could hide my fullness by standing next to people or with people, and then that allowed me to still put out stuff, but it actually hindered my career. And so now I'm really a decade behind. Like I'm really a decade behind because I kept standing next to people that were good people, they were fine people, but it was out of a place of insecurity, out of a place of inadequacy, and that stuff hurt the long term. And God's sovereign and God's good and God's grace, it all works together. But you see what I'm saying? Like, so you got to make sure that like, okay, cool, maybe that stuff was for a season. Maybe it was because you had some codependency issues. Maybe it was both. Now you're here now. What are you going to do about it? You know what I'm saying? And what do you need to do? And for me, I had to make lifestyle changes. I had to get better with my sleep. I had to get better with my diet. I had to feel better. It's something as simple as cutting my hair and not wearing beanies on YouTube. If you guys notice, I started making lives more daily and more regularly once I cut my hair, and I was just like, I like how my hair looks, because the man bun kept making my forehead look jacked up, and I was mad insecure about my forehead. You know what I'm saying? And the photos had to be at the right angle, and then I wear beanies, and people kept asking me, why are you wearing beanies in the middle of the summertime? And it's like something as simple as that, Russell, derailed me and put a lid on me being as productive as I can on YouTube. And I know that sounds silly, like it's a freaking hairstyle. But you're as a man, like your hair is it's a lot, right?
No, that's actually really huge, and I would say definitely to my detriment, I end up being a workaholic on everything else but what I want to do. I got 3 kids and the only income in the house, so it's working the full-time job. I got the side hustle that work crazy hard on, and then it's like I have music as well, and I know I want to do this, and it's something I want to pursue. But then I think that all the insecurities and, like you said, the codependencies that I had on other people back in the day was helping me hide there. And that's the only way I was releasing something, is I felt secure being behind other people. So I think that's huge. And that actually got that hit probably exactly where it needed to.
And listen, I'm gonna go a little deeper, bro. How old are your kids?
Yeah. 4, 2, and 4 months.
Okay, so you got like you have external motivations, right? You have you have actual people depending on you that need you there, that you want to be there. You don't want them growing up thinking dad's always working, dad's always checked out, dad's a workaholic. You don't want that vibe. You don't want to pass that legacy down. So you got some serious like external motivations to help you. And I would also say the last thing I'll leave you with, Russell, is a lot of us are like we know mentors are important and we know outside voices and all that kind of stuff. I found it to be effective to vicariously live through mentors, through their content. And I know that sounds really weird, right? But like I don't have access to the people I want to have access to. But here's the truth: I don't need it. I don't actually need it. I'm really into Gary Vee. And Gary, I freaking love Gary Vee. Gary Vee follows me on Instagram, and every single live that he does and I'm in, he shouts me out. But you know what the hilarious, ironic part is he does not know how to pronounce my name. How bittersweet is that? You're one of your favorite influencers, follows you on Instagram. You've met this dude before. He's an immigrant like you. Russian is his first language. He shouts you out on Instagram. He's used your music in his vlogs, but he doesn't know how to pronounce your name right. And I don't have regular access to him, right? The irony of all that, right? I say that because to say I can vicariously live through. I know Gary Vee's take more or less on the question I already have. I've been really into Patrick Bet-David, right? Which I would highly recommend the Valuetainment YouTube channel for everybody, like big time. It's probably the best, my favorite channel on YouTube right now, right? Similar story. He's Armenian. He's a refugee, right? It's like the same life story. I don't need to have access to him. I don't need to have a conversation with him. I know what he's gonna say. I have enough. I've consumed enough of his content where he's literally a mentor to me, and I've never met the dude. And I've interacted with him briefly on Twitter. It doesn't mean I don't want to meet him and I don't want to have access to him. I would love to be mentored by him. But you see what I'm saying? So like mentors, you can kind of vicariously live through the content and figure out how would these people guide you along in this process, and what is God using to say through them to you about your specific situations by just connecting the dots and kind of applying it to you. So I know that was a weird side tangent, but I think there's something there.
That was perfect, man. And last thing I'll say, man, I really appreciate. That's why I hopped on. Here I'm on the Patreon or whatever. I never hop on, and I felt like I had to hop on and ask this. So I follow your content like crazy. So I had that. I appreciate the opportunity open to everybody to come in and actually get an answer from a mentor. I think that's insanely valuable, and I think you have the most valuable content on YouTube, hands down. I appreciate it.
Kingstream Entertainment, Ruslan